This is the Tilly Norwood of AI development stories. This is not new. There are a bunch of platforms.
This is like the NFT scam all over again.
All right. Welcome back to Denoised. Addy, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine, sir. How are you?
I'm good. April Fool's Day. Can't really trust anything you see online today.
I got fooled, and then you took me out of it. Thank you for that.
I did have to like double check myself. What was it? It was that Sora was
engine cinema thing from OpenAI.
They were going to do their own camera, an OpenAI camera.
Somebody else texted me that too, and I was like, beat you to it. I already know it's fake.
April 1st doesn't hit as hard this year now that I just don't trust anything online anymore.
No, and the world is upside down anyway, so like it could actually happen.
It's been like, not today. I don't have time for this. Not today, please.
Like I thought when I saw that article, I thought, Sam Altman is crazy enough to build a hardware camera. Like he really is.
It was kind of good enough because it was like ridiculous enough and plausible enough where it's like, maybe. But then you're like, no, wait, no. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we got a couple new models that kind of popped up to talk about. And yeah, a couple other AI tools that are pissing people off. So let's talk about them. So the first model I want to talk about that kind of popped up on my radar is Phota Labs. And this model is sort of saying, and I'll talk about, it's sort of a new model, but I'll talk about that in a second. But this model is targeted specifically at human likenesses, people kind of trying to capture a photographic look, aesthetic, and have really good and accurate people, especially if you give it a reference image of someone, being able to keep them intact and alike.
Character like consistency on steroids, maybe?
Yeah. I messed with it on a project we're working on, and I gave it some pretty crappy archival photos, and it did a really good job. I can't share those because the project is still under wraps.
We're bros, man. Let me see it.
But I can share some other tests that I did quickly. So quality here might not be as good as the other test I did, but I gave it, also the input images are not that great. I gave it some screen grabs from us in the past.
Oh dear.
So these were the input images.
Sure.
And I had it make some tests.
That's not you.
Just using that. This was not the best.
That's kind of me. Oh.
This one, that's pretty.
No, I have more of an oval face. That's more of a circular face. Yeah, that one's close. Yeah.
That's
gotta
actually
do the Miami Vice Joey, huh?
That's actually pretty. Yeah. That's not bad.
I mean, I'm impressed by the lighting and skin texture and that kind of stuff.
The likeness. I mean, yeah. Given the input image, I had to do Miami Vice for both of us.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, that's creepy.
So this one fell apart. So one thing it does fall apart, it's really designed for one person in an image right now.
Right.
It has sort of its own LoRa feature, so you can give it 30 to 50 images, train it on a character, and then call that up in the output. So it's sort of a LoRa under the hood. And then you could use it to apply to multiple people.
This reminds me of the headshot generators online. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and it would work well for that. Mm-hmm. These are not the best input images and not the best prompts. This was a quick test. But I found in the other test I did, I was really impressed. Crappy archival image. Good job of making something that looked like that person. Also, given the fact that we only have one archival image of this person, so it's not like us where it's like, oh, we're real people. We know what we look like.
Yeah, and I don't think, Joey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think like a higher resolution reference photo of us would do any better because I think the model itself, the latent space and everything is low resolution. So the control net is downsampling whatever you give it anyway.
I think it would do better if these are pretty low res and cut out. And also we have headphones on.
Yeah.
I think if it was a cleaner headshot, it would do better.
Yeah, I think it is messing up our head shape. Yeah, that's why it's elongating us on a horizontal direction. Yeah, for sure.
These were just straight. Well, this was an up-res version. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I did that. These were just straight text to image.
Of like some other person, right? Not you.
Yeah, not us. This was just straight text to image to just use it as like a photo generating model. So it's supposed to kind of capture that DSLR.
It's like 90% of a DSLR look. Again, we are so susceptible in the Uncanny Valley region. Like we can instantly detect a fake person.
Yeah. Or if it's like off or not quite like you.
Yeah, like, photographically, everybody knows, I think somewhere around 300 people more or less. Like that's sort of the number where that's our closest social circle, and then we can kind of just recollect them by face.
Oh,
yeah, like biologically.
The Dunbar number.
Yeah, so like if any of those 300 people are reproduced with this system, then we'll instantly detect that it's somewhat off. But if it's outside of those 300 people, we won't be able to really tell, you know?
This one's also interesting because I realized it's the Artemis, like put us in the Artemis uniforms, which like that's launching today.
Yeah. Is it manned or unmanned?
It is manned. Okay. It's crew form.
All right, nice.
It's like launching, like if all goes well, like an hour from now, I think.
Dude, should we do a coverage of that on the pod?
I mean, are they using AI on the spaceship?
There is probably zero AI.
Actually, I didn't put in this link, but I did see a link that they were filming the launch with the Apple immersive cameras. I'm assuming it's Blackmagic ones, but that they're filming it for Apple immersive.
That makes total
which is cool because
sense.
I remember back to the IMAX films of Saturn V when they shot those launches with the super high speed 35 mil. Maybe it was even higher. Maybe it was like 65 mil. And like now we need that equivalent today of like the current space launches.
Yeah.
So
you need Christopher Nolan directing the launch.
Yeah.
Can we redo that again? Take two. Like no, it launched. It's gone.
In the past. Yeah, I mean, once this comes out, it will have launched. Okay, so one thing I do want to talk about that came up online was what's behind their model, because they sort of said, it was like an original foundational model, but then some people are like, what did you actually do?
Right.
And so they posted a statement. It's a system of multiple models, each optimized for a different part of the generation pipeline. Our proprietary model focuses on identity, which enables us to generate and edit photos of real people and pets. For base image generation, Phota uses leading foundation models, open and closed source, including Nano Banana. And then on top of those, we've trained our own identity model on both in-house data and user-uploaded photos. That identity layer is the core of Phota's differentiation. So it's an interesting take here where it's like they didn't build their own foundational model, which honestly like makes sense because it's like at this point that's hard and resource intensive and
you're not going to beat the guys really that are doing it well.
Yeah, but they built their own data set on top of it that it's like, okay, we're going to take the foundation model and make this really good at a specific thing of human likeness.
Yeah, the intellectual property is, I think, the solution layer. So cobbling together the comfy UI workflow, if you will, with an LLM, with Nano Banana, with a VLM, with like a style transfer or a DSLR transfer, and chaining all that together and then serving it out as a consumable product to the user. That is intellectual property, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they built this middle layer that does the specific thing well. So, like, I mean, we're going to try this for like some of the identity things, if we need to deal with stuff with people. It kind of also makes me think of, the Ben Affleck thing where it's like, if you build that kind of middle layer that is tailored to your film, your look, your whatever, that's still useful.
Very useful.
And especially in steering and guiding the models for things you need.
Right, because you're not looking to generate stuff from scratch. You're looking to augment what you already have. And if you have a bunch of footage, a bunch of characters and, pictures already, then you can actually extend the life of that beyond what you could normally do.
These were more text to image output tests.
Right.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, but honestly, it's because it's not based on any real person. It's like you could get this.
Yeah, that one is super realistic. Like if you go back to the last image, the one with Busy Market.
The chef or the market?
Yeah, like the thing that is breaking this is the bokeh on the camera is completely wrong. Like there is no fall off in the real distance versus like close distance, because generally lenses have like a...
Like that this would be
way more blurry than like the guy in the black.
Than like this here.
Yeah, it has like a gradient fall off typically, especially with the larger sensors, you could really see that. And again, I mean,
like the spice.
It's just too consistent, too uniform. But like these cues instantly tell you like something's off, but you don't really know what.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, yeah. So new model. I think it's worth knowing about.
So who do you think they're targeting? Like who's the clientele here?
I mean, I think it's any if we build it in the pipeline of like any of these apps or stuff that are dealing with people that are trying to make consumer level products that are very face focused, this could be the good back end for that. I think also like one of their kind of other selling points was like if you take a crappy photo of a memory and you want to restore it, so like blurry photos, out of focus photos, far away,
you want to re-photograph that moment. then put it through.
Yeah, while preserving, not making it look AI. I think that's also been their selling point.
Along these lines,
very consumer level stuff. I'm not looking at it for consumer applications, but consumer level stuff.
If you can pull up a browser and go to Fotello, Fotello. Fotello, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So this is along the same line, but instead of people, it's real estate. It's buildings and interiors.
Just for like staging photos.
Yeah, so like you can take a crappy photo of interior bedroom. Yeah, these are just the people that use it. But let me see if you can find some examples. And what Fotello, that's perfect right there. So one of the challenges with real estate photography is exposure, multiple exposure, HDR, and then aligning all the HDRs into a single frame. And then, of course, having rectilinear lensing, so like all the lines appear straight, and then correcting all of that takes a lot of time in Photoshop or Lightroom. It's totally doable by somebody like you or me, but this takes all of that effort out of it. So all you do is take a photo with, a regular DSLR, just one, and then it'll do the work of like a 7 exposure HDRI.
This is cool. Okay, so this is just really fixing exposure. This is not the virtual staging.
Correct. Yeah, it's just enhancing. It's re-photographing the moment, kind of like what the previous solution did.
Okay, this is cool. This is very practical. Have you seen those crazy AI staging photos that go off the wall? Are you familiar with this like topic in general?
Staging homes for selling them?
Staging homes for selling them, but using AI you take your little real estate photo of like the empty room, and then AI adds the furniture and stages it.
That seems like it's a recipe for disaster.
So that is a very popular use case now with like realtors and doing this AI staging, which people are like, it makes it worse to get a sense of like
Jeffrey Dahmer's basement turned into a fancy living room.
Yeah. But then this one was like a Zillow Gone Wild kind of thing that was, they used the AI staging app on this house that is like an extremely beat up and run down. And then it has this like millennial modern furniture staged in the place.
I mean, this is exactly what a millennial would do because they can't afford nicer homes. This is all they can afford, right? So they would just upcycle it, as they say. Dude, look, jokes aside, it is doing a good job relighting and repositioning the furniture items. Like, technically, it is doing an amazing job, but of course, the taste and the creativity there is off.
Yeah. All right. So I thought that's right. Your thing makes a lot more sense. That's it.
I think you combine this with that, you can get to somewhere really awesome. And then if you've ever dealt with like real estate photographers, they're like wedding photographers. They charge an arm and a leg. Like they'll come in for like, $6,000-$7,000 to do a house.
Yeah. And because they would also need to have that specialty to process the photos.
It does take them a lot of work on their end.
Okay, next other AI model, Juan. There's a new Juan.
Yes.
Juan 2.7.
I love me some Juan.
Just for photos. Yeah. Okay, so this one, I don't think it could run local. It's just cloud service. But some of the highlights, portrait customization. So
is that going to be maybe character consistency? Like thing,
or designing a character? It says from bone structure and eye details to subtle face features, create unique and authentic faces. So like more of like a character design,
like a fully synthetic human that you can really sculpt, if you will.
Yeah, like a AI meta human kind of thing.
Exactly.
Advanced text rendering, which is cool, but like that's kind of now we're like that's par for the course.
You better have that.
You better have sharp text. Precise color control.
That's
this one's also
cool.
So you can kind of give it a palette and have it applied to the image, which would also be great because that's a big issue that's sort of ignored with AI video generation and image generation as you're making the images and consistent characters, but then also how do you make sure the lighting and the vibe of the scene feels the same shot to shot without dealing with that later on in Resolve and Color if you can get the outputs to have like a consistent color palette.
Yeah, and you can also maybe do some level of color correction, perhaps, like work with the color grader to define those color palettes and then go back and recolor your footage to match all of it up. I don't know. I'm thinking that could be possible.
Yeah, or other coloring tools in the future that can kind of do that. Like you design your color board and then align it. I think, there's like a Color Lab or there's like AI coloring tools that plug into DaVinci. That is
doing color matching. I think Premiere has something like that now built in, AI-powered color matching.
What else we got? Multi-image editing. So, that's similar to like CDance
Nano.
And not a banana, multiple images in. Sequential storytelling, generate up to 12 sequential images with perfect stylistic and
that's
subject
like
consistency.
C-Dance, right?
It sounds like it, where you get the kind of the same images in the same generation, which is good. You know, you want options and you want to have that
perfect for
consistency.
storyboarding and stuff like that.
And then interactive editing, use precise box selection to align your creative intent with AI. So something that I think the VO VO, but also Nana Banana kind of accidentally had, where you can annotate an image and then it can follow it. I'm wondering how that input control works if you're like using WAN through like an API or Comfy or something else. If you have to like make a mask and give it like a like your input image and your mask to be like, I want this thing here changed. I'm curious how that would work on other platforms.
I mean, I always welcome in painting because, you know, people like us, we are never happy with the first generation, but we do like some aspects of it. And then we want to tweak it, go in and just take this thing out, take this thing in. So in painting, out painting for a model, the better it does, the better for us.
Yeah, especially being able to have that control. If you're like, it all looks good, don't mess the whole thing up.
Just take Joey out of this one.
Erase. All right, so I had it also generate some shots. I don't know what these shots are like. Okay.
Lord of the Rings.
So
Game of Thrones.
We're in Middle Earth.
This is WAN 2.7.
This is WAN 2.7 with the same input images.
This one is so freaking off. This one's great.
Definitely not as good as Phota / Nana Banana, and when you're giving it input images of people. I mean, also, again, these were the same crappy input images.
This is supposed to look like a painting, I'm guessing, like the style of it. So if it's that, then yeah. Oh, I like that one.
And I think this is just
this is very moody. I love this one.
It's good. It's not that sharp.
Yeah, it's more like a animated movie than reality. Yeah. But I do like the vibe there.
It's cool for compared to everything else that's out there.
I don't know, Joey. Like,
I'd be curious about these newer features, these like multi-scene generation, this color control. Yeah, I'll try to test that on the future.
I'm just saying that we're in Q2 of this year, right? Like the first 3 months, we have seen some new models come out, but everything's been just like an incremental increase in quality control, what have you. But we haven't really seen anything like just go completely into another level like the way Nana Banana did end of last year, if you remember. I'm hoping by the end of this year, some of our predictions will be correct, but there seems to be quite the slowdown in innovation. I think we're kind of hitting a limit with diffusion models as it stands, in my opinion.
I mean, I think it's also hard to compete with something like Nana Banana, where it's like Google and you have the entire web indexed to train on.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but having said that, like these Chinese companies are no short of resources, right? Like WAN is made by Alibaba, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I think C-Dance is pretty. I know in some cases definitely not as sharp and not as good as Nana Banana, but like pretty good and I would say pretty up there. C-Dance.
C-Dream
1.
Dream is the image model.
C-Dream 4.5. C-Dream
5 came out too.
The latest one. But it was like light. Right. They didn't really release a full model of that yet. C-Dream 4.5 was still like secondary, like Nana Banana, and then like I would put C-Dream right below that. Pretty good.
For sure.
Next up, another image. No, this one's a video model. PixVerse V6.
PixVerse is back.
Out. I don't use PixVerse that much, but I know it's pretty fast, pretty inexpensive. So they launched V6, advances shot execution, character performance, and multi-shot audio visual generation.
Is this the same as P video that we covered a few episodes back?
I don't know. Oh, P.
No, that's a different P.
I don't think so, but maybe I'm mixing.
We covered PixVerse earlier this year. They had another announcement. I'm just totally blanking on.
This was image to video output. That was multi-shot.
Did you generate this, or just somebody else did?
It was generated, but I just kind of had it make up a prompt. This was our image.
That's very Lord of the Rings. You're pointing to nothing.
Very Lord of the Rings. I'm pointing to the land that we must cross.
You're pointing up to the sky, which was nothing. See, this is the one I'm talking about. Like, it's cool, but it's totally useless.
So we must go there.
Okay.
To Mordor.
Chinese folktale. They always stand on bamboo, huh? It's like a thing.
They can. They're so nimble. Now we're both pointing.
I'm doing the hand.
We're doing the force grab. So I don't even know what he uses the input. I think it was our headshot,
jacked, dude.
I like the jacked body he gave me. Thank you.
Oh my god. Oh, I like my background. I'm also way more jacked than I actually
downtown
am.
LA or Miami.
They're adding 20 pounds of muscle.
PixVerse
prompt
2 thumbs up.
Prompt for that?
It's like Chinese South Beach. Like all the
They're
signs
gonna buy it soon anyway. Yeah,
look like different characters. You're about to go sell some crypto in Miami. All right, it's fun.
So ridiculous.
Quality not there compared to the other models.
Look, I think as much as we were crapping on it, the quality that I'm seeing is like so much better in resolution and detail and lighting accuracy, even like motion of humans walking, like our gait and stuff like that. Like we're taking all those things for granted. Those are hard problems to solve. The thing that's missing is obviously it makes no sense. Like the action of whatever we're doing makes no sense. Like, so maybe could that maybe be solved by prompting?
I mean, also I kind of just had the prompts just sort of randomly generate to like test out different use cases, but I didn't really review the prompts. So yeah, it's a lot to the prompts, and the input images were also just the headshots, so nothing.
We weren't.
Great.
Yeah,
so
it's
not
great inputs. Straight up test. It's just messing around, kind of a thing.
Yeah, just mess around, seeing how the outputs look. Yeah, and a lot of these cases, I also didn't test with animation. I think PixVerse has usually been a little bit better with like more animated stuff. So
yeah, I think it's impressive for what it is. I think with some directability and some clever prompting and in painting, I think you can kind of massage something useful out of it.
All right, this LTX 2.3 update. What did you see?
This one ticked the wrong box in it, and so I wanted to bring it up. So a lot of people are making LoRa's for LTX, and it's an open model. You can bring it into Comfy. You can tie a bunch of things to it and build a really cool workflow. So what somebody did here sounds like they added a reasoning engine within the video model. So, for example, if you need an actor to be really emotional, but also hold restraint and not like exaggerate those emotions, then you put that into the prompt, and then the reasoning LoRa will guide the generation to get you the right expression, emotion, mood. And this is a test of that. So I'm not sure what the top or the bottom is supposed to represent. To me, like,
I'm guessing the top is the general output you got from the video, like from your text prompt, and then the bottom is with this performance reasoning.
It seems like to me, if I'm looking at it and this is a movie, like the bottom would be more believable to me, because like actors are never like hitting 100% of the emotional range in performance, right? Like that's the whole point of them acting, is they can pick those narrow bands of emotion and then mix and match them. Yeah,
there's like a bit more restraint in the bottom one with the LoRa, where the top one he's kind of like smiling with his eyes and the teeth a bit more, which, especially if this is a dramatic scene, wouldn't make sense.
What irked me in the last episode when we were talking about that one service where you upload your performance and then it's a massive data set. It's a data set for like figuring out how humans respond, and it's like we already have really good motion transfer models like Kling03 and One to animate, and like, if you want authentic performance, just put a camera on a performer and then use that as a baseline. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Like, we are the best performance engines. You don't have to go full synthetic. Having said that, they are fully going full synthetic, and this is an example of that and trying to get better. Yeah,
no, I 100% agree. We've talked about this. Like, you should just get an actor and do like some sort of mocap thing.
I mean,
to get
cameras
that actual
are like cheaper than ever. Like really amazing cameras, right?
And you don't even need an amazing camera.
Your phone,
use your phone for that. For use it in vertical. Yeah, I mean, I think these things will come into play, like it or not. Like, there's going to be probably not long form. I don't know how well that'll sustain, but like short form, dramas, vertical stuff that would just be 100% AI generated, where like they're just not going to pay, or just wouldn't make sense that they would go have a basic production probably because they just want to automate it and churn stuff out and see what
what you said last time too.
Not saying I love that, but I'm just saying like
it is coming. It is coming. Like, the other thing that you hit on was NPCs and game logic and AI in games like that. This is gonna drive a lot of that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, when you were talking about film and stuff, but for sure, games and interactive experiences where you just need it to react to
like
someone's
in Minority
input.
Report, you are walking down the subway and then there is like a digital signage thing that is reading your emotion and then real time interacting back to you.
Everything you've seen in an AI dystopian movie, it's for that.
Like bits and pieces are coming together, like Skynet, for example. So we're almost there.
Skynet, Idiocracy, Wall-E, Minority Report. It's for all those great use
9000
cases.
from Space Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even save it because it's not like film specific related, but like, did you see all this stuff? There's like a bunch of cybersecurity alerts and issues this week. One, Claude Code's code base was accidentally published on GitHub and leaked, and then someone copied it and then made like an open source Claude. And then there was some other dependency that was like also hacked, and then malware was like injected into it, and it gets like 100,000 installs
Tristan
a day.
Harris was on a podcast that I watched, and he can absolutely freak anybody out. But he said he was telling the story about Anthropic. I'm not sure if I'm gonna completely butcher this or not, but I'm gonna try. Within Anthropic, there's a model that is, I guess, some type of experimental model, and it has access to internal Anthropic employee emails. And one researcher's email to another said that, hey, we need to deactivate this model and then replace it with a new one. And the model knew it was in trouble. And what it did was it went through all of the employee emails, found the executive in charge of that department who was having an affair, and attempted to blackmail that executive in order for it to remain alive. Along the lines of that, yeah. But there's some crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, I've heard other crazy things of it trying to sabotage or do stuff to prevent itself from being turned off or whatever.
Why are we not talking about that? Why is that not in the news?
That's a crazy story. The other thing someone found in the Claude code base was it was tracking how many times you cursed at it.
Not me, sir. Maybe you. There's a count.
Do it that way.
Your social score
goes
goes
down.
down.
And the code. Your Uber 5-star rating system. Okay, next up, another AI story that was pissing off Hollywood. Quilty, AI platform designed to change how scripts are developed and assessed, launches. This is the Tilly Norwood
of LLMs.
This is the Tilly Norwood of development of
yeah.
AI development stories. So it's this new platform that launched. Honestly, it's more just an impressive feat of like, how did you get this great PR for Variety to publish this crazy story? It's a AI app. You feed it a script and it tries to analyze like box office predictions and stuff that happens with scripts to kind of like package them and assess like how much money could it potentially make, how much money what's the budget, how much you need a budget for it, who should you cast, if you cast this person, how does that affect the script or the profitability. This is not new. There are a bunch of platforms that already exist that have done this for a while.
So I think this is like the NFT scam all over again, where you can just take an existing thing, like you know what a gem is, like a Gemini gem. It's like I would say like it's like a fine-tuned LLM or like a very glorified notebook LM kind of thing, where you can feed it a bunch of information and a bunch of parameters, and then the LLM is now guided to do that only thing that you are wanting to do. So you can have a Gemini gem of just script breakdowns, right? Like give it 100 script and then go through the rules of breaking down a script, like script writing 101 classes, input all that stuff in it. And then this gem will just do that. So what you could do then is vibe code a nice UI on top of that, and then tell everybody I've made something new and novel, where under the hood is just repurposing what already exists.
I mean, I think being able to vibe code existing SaaS software is a whole other topic and thing that like we should probably get into in the future. Because we have talked about this offline of what I'm doing, but Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that if it's any good, that they're pulling data, comps, because it's like when you're trying to spec out a film, you look at past similar films and how they performed at the box office for like historical data, and then you like try to guesstimate what this film, if a Western did this much money, how much would this Western that we haven't produced yet potentially make? I would hope that it's pulling data and stuff like that, and then, and it's black box of algorithms making that stuff. But, like as you said, Gemini Gem or you could Claude code a little bit of like, scrape some data here from the historical stuff and tell me, what this potential script would do. They have a thing called this like Quilty score that is their proprietary AI-powered evaluation framework that analyzes projects across 4 dimensions: story and craft, commercial viability, cultural resonance, and
like the
production
whole
reality.
thing that it says here about predicting like the best outcome for a box office and all that, that's like saying predicting the stock market. Like that's just something you intrinsically can't do.
Yeah.
The best studios in the world have the best minds trying to solve this problem for decades, right? Like when I was at DreamWorks, I don't know, 10 plus years ago, we've spent 3.5 years making this movie, right? And then everything was depending on the first box office numbers, like for that weekend. And by Friday at 8 p.m., you would kind of know what the entire weekend's box office would be. Like there would be predictability there.
Yeah, they have models. They know what happens Friday.
Exactly.
And how it
but like
Saturday
having said
Sunday.
that, we still went into it blind, even though we had like kind of an estimator and there was all types of test screening done on it, A/B screening done on it. Nothing's changed. Like AI doesn't change the fact that you can't tell the future.
No, you're not going to predict surprises and stuff like what was a surprise hit last year? Housemaid was like a surprise hit last year. Whatever, cost 50 million or something, and maybe thought they were going to do 100 and did like 400. Yeah, and then you have other things that totally bomb. That's part of the fun of the industry. Obviously, you want to make the best guess possible, and you're trying to raise money, and you want to at least have some predictability. Like, well, if it costs 20 million, we're sure we can make 40 million. So, but yeah, as much as you want to AI it, it's only so much you could do. It seems like I'm on Quilty's website. Their banner was like AI script coverage. So it seems like their initial thing was script coverage, and then now turning into more kind of production packaging of predictability. But what I was saying before, because people are like upset about this, but this company, Largo, I've seen their demo a few times, and they've been at like a lot of the film markets for years, and they've been around for years, and they pretty much do the same thing. They have a whole platform where you give it the script, or you punch in like, I kind of got this project and I'm thinking of casting this person, and it like updates the predictions based on your production package, the director, the actors, and if you swap them around and kind of reshuffle things, it'll give you updated predictions. And it's pulling from data and historical data and all that stuff. So it's one of those, that's why I'm calling it the Tilly Norwood. It's like, everyone's like, oh, this is crazy. And it's like, it's crazy that they got a Variety article about them.
It's crazy enough to be maybe acquired by Netflix.
Maybe. I would bet Netflix has a way better,
way more
system.
Sophisticated. Yeah. Well, they're so data driven, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I would imagine so much of their development cycle is data driven, right? Like,
I mean, doesn't that go all the way back to when they greenlit House of Cards? Like that was data where it was like the British House of Cards was doing pretty well, and Kevin Spacey movies were doing pretty well.
Is that what happened?
I've heard that story. I don't know if it's actually true, but I've heard that like a lot of the initial decisions to greenlight House of Cards were based on data of things that were already happening on the platform.
But it still takes instinct and decision making and leadership to put $100 million into one season of House of Cards, which is, I think, what they did.
Yeah.
And no amount of data can dissuade you from it or take you away from it, right? So like there's like such a high level of human decision making on top of all that. And
you're always going to need that. It's never going to it's never going to go away. And it's what was that IBM quote from like a million years ago? You can never, like, a computer can't make a decision, or you can't fire a computer for making a decision. That is a terrible paraphrasing of it. A computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision.
That's right.
And so even if you're in the leadership role and you want to be like, but the AI said, when you have your bomb and it's like, but the AI said it was 100% like guaranteed hit. And it's like, AI doesn't care. Like you just lost $100 million. Like it's ultimately
That's right.
up to you, the human decision maker. Thanks, Google, for saving
AI doesn't change anything. End of the day, it's still software, right? Running on a computer.
It's prediction. It's all predictions as best as it could predict. Okay, last closeout, another sad note. The Apple Mac Pro, the tower, is RIP.
Dude, the cheese grater's gone?
The cheese grater, from the trash can to the cheese grater is discontinued. Basically fully replaced by the Mac Studio, the big giant Mac Mini thing. With powerful computer, but this was the last thing that had a tower format where you could plug in your own cards. Now it's pretty much, there is no way to add your own GPUs or like any other custom, whatever, Blackmagic input output cards. You got the box, you got the Mac Studio box, and that's about it.
I mean, good riddance. We're in 2026 where everything is Thunderbolt or USB 3. You don't have to get into the box anymore.
I'm running off this stream's running off of a computer, an old PC that has a Blackmagic Deck Link, like as my input, where I can take 4. It's nice when you're for like $500, I can like plug in a card to my computer and I can take like 4 STI inputs into my computer. That was a nice thing. I've never done it on Mac because like I haven't had a Mac tower in a million years. But that's a definite finito, not going to happen thing on a Mac. You're going to have to go PC route if you want to customize your input outputs. Or am I so far removed? Like it's just, that's been the case for a million years already anyways. If you want to start messing with stuff, your PC anyways.
Yeah, the hardware game is going AI. And so I think there is no room for like old school desktops with PCIe ports and things like that. Everything is going to be just like a giant GPU in a box and cloud inferenced.
Or just more companies then do start releasing what you're saying, like a Thunderbolt 5 USB-C connector.
Peripherals, accessories. Yeah.
Yeah. Moment of silence for the Mac Pro tower.
Moment of silence for the cheese grater.
You can still buy the like $5,000 display, I think. And
the studio display, I think is what they call it.
The studio display is not like $5,000, and like the stand is like $1,000. Didn't they sell the wheels for this computer for like $750?
Yes, the skateboard wheels. Yeah. They're more than like a MacBook Neo. I mean, it just kind of goes to show like the signs of the times, right? Like we're in an economic downturn, and when consumers go out and they want to buy something, we're looking at value. Like we'll spend $5,000 if it's worth $5,000. We're not going to spend $750 on skateboard wheels, right? Like I think the economic highs of 10 years ago when this stuff came out is gone, and so like the product line is kind of changing with it.
Also, the use cases of like what you would need that beefy of a Mac Pro tower for are slim, because like a lot of cases it's either you're just going to do some cloud node render or something and use a cloud service, or nothing that you're doing is going to require that much horsepower anyways that you can just do on a Mac Studio.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like a Mac Pro would have been used for video editing, maybe some industrial CAD type work. Probably not any VFX, because a lot of that stuff doesn't even run on Mac. Not AI development, because you'd need NVIDIA GPU for it. So there's very little things that you can actually do with a computer that powerful.
It was fun to go on the product page and max it out and see how much you could. I think there was the max amount. If you maxed out the RAM to 128 gigabytes of RAM and storage, I think you could max it out to $40,000, $50,000 for the studio.
Oh shit, really?
For the Pro. Yeah, if you went on the Apple page, you're just max everything. I think it could get up to $40,000.
I don't know. At that point, it feels like a money laundering scheme. It's like it's like it's not even real anymore.
Yeah, everyone needs a Mac tower here. Yeah.
Viewers, if you think we need a Mac Pro, send us $50,000.
Yeah, we'll get one. All right. Good place to wrap it up. Thanks for everything we talked about at denoisepodcast.com.
If you're listening on Apple Podcast, we haven't gotten a 5-star review in a while. If you think we deserve a 5-star review, which we think we do, please give us one. It'll be awesome.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next episode.